My friend, let me ask you a question that may change the entire course of your destiny. Do you know that right now within your own subconscious mind lies a power greater than all the wealth of the world? A power so vast, so infinite, that if you dare to speak the right words to it, with faith, with expectancy, with conviction, it will open the treasure houses of heaven and pour into your life abundance pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For the word you speak to your subconscious is the word made flesh. The decree you utter is the key that unlocks hidden riches. As it is written, Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Job 22:28. What if I told you that by speaking certain words with unwavering belief for just 30 days you could reprogram the inner man, dissolve every financial struggle, and awaken the millionaire within? What if I told you that the secret of wealth, health, and divine success is not in the outer world, but in the inner speech you utter to your subconscious mind day and night? This is not theory, it is law, divine law. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The great Florence Scovel Shinn declared, Your word is your wand. Neville Goddard affirmed, Imagination creates reality. Napoleon Hill proclaimed, What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And the psychologist Carl Jung revealed that man's outer life is but a mirror of his inner archetypes and beliefs. All spoke the same truth. You are the architect of your fortune, the captain of your soul, the master of your destiny. And I say unto you tonight, if you will speak these words for 30 days, not idly, not fearfully, but with a heart ablaze in faith, you will set into motion the law of wealth manifestation. Money will come to you in avalanches of abundance. Opportunities will appear. Doors will open. The right people, the right ideas, the right circumstances will rush to meet you, as rivers rush to the sea. Your subconscious mind is the great storehouse of riches. When you impress it with the image of wealth, it will create wealth. When you speak to it of abundance, it will overflow your life with abundance. When you command it with faith, it will obey as a servant obeys his master, for it was designed by the Creator to bring forth into form that which is conceived in thought and affirmed in word. So I ask you once more, are you ready to speak the words that make millionaires? Are you ready to write the law of wealth upon your subconscious mind and see your life transfigured by divine supply? Then come with me and let us begin this sacred journey together. But before we enter the river of truth, I ask you, my friend, and if you are ready to receive this wisdom, if you are ready to manifest divine abundance, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, and join this community of truth seekers who dare to believe that God's wealth flows through them now. For it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. My beloved friend, let me impress upon your mind this eternal truth. You were born rich. The infinite supply of God has been yours since the foundation of the world. Poverty is but a false belief, a shadow of the mind, a misinterpretation of the divine law of abundance. The whole universe sings prosperity, for the heavens declare the glory of God, and the earth is full of his riches. Yet many live in lack, not because God withholds, but because they do not know the law of their own mind. The subconscious mind is the great storehouse of wealth. It is the secret place of the Most High. What you impress upon it in faith, it will express in your outer world with mathematical precision. As surely as night follows day, thou and the word you plant in the soil of the subconscious must bear fruit after its kind. Be not deceived, says the Scripture, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Sow wealth in the inner realm, and wealth you must reap in the outer realm. You must come to know that God is the giver of all good, and that his supply is infinite. Luke 12:32 declares, Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. What is this kingdom? It is the kingdom of health, harmony, love, success, and abundance. It is not far off in the heavens, nor hidden in some distant age. It is within you now, awaiting your recognition. Take the case of a man who came to me in despair. He said, Dr. Murphy, I work hard, yet money slips through my fingers. I pray, but my prayers seem unanswered. I am tired of struggling. I asked him, what is your inner dialogue about money? What words do you speak to your subconscious? He confessed, I often say, I never have enough. Money is scarce. Times are hard. I replied, you have been decreeing lack, and your subconscious has been obedient to your words. You have been writing poverty upon the tablet of your heart. I gave him a new prayer, a new command to give his inner mind. I said, every morning and evening, affirm with feeling, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious. I am supplied with abundance now and forever. Money flows to me freely, joyously, endlessly, and in ever-increasing measure. He began to speak these words, not mechanically, but with faith, with expectancy, with a vision of himself already prosperous. Within 30 days, opportunities appeared. A contract he had long sought was granted. An inheritance he did not expect came into his hands. Within 3 months, he had more than doubled his income. He discovered that the source of wealth was not in his labor alone, but in the divine law of belief and inner speech. The words you speak at once precedes. The subconscious mind does not argue, it accepts. It does not reason, it executes. If you speak words of lack, it will create lack. If you speak words of abundance, it will create abundance. If you decree wealth, it must obey, for it is the servant of your faith. This is why Job 22:28 is a cosmic law. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. Florence Scovel Shinn, that prophetess of truth, declared, your word is your wand. She understood the mystical power of inner speech. Neville Goddard likewise proclaimed that imagination creates reality. When you imagine wealth, when you speak wealth, when you embody wealth in thought and feeling, you are impressing your subconscious with the mold of prosperity. And what is impressed must be expressed. Say to yourself now, wealth of the Spirit flows through me. Money is God in action, circulating freely in my life. I am a divine center of prosperity. Feel these words as truth, for feeling is the language of the subconscious. Speak them with conviction, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You may have believed that wealth comes only through toil and sweat, but I say to you, labor is but a channel. The source is God within you. Look to the source, and the channels will multiply. Look to men alone, and you will be disappointed. But acknowledge the Lord in all thy ways, and he shall direct thy paths. He shall open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. You must train your subconscious as a gardener trains the soil. Remove the weeds of fear and doubt. Plant the seeds of wealth-affirming words. Water them with faith. Shine upon them the light of expectation, and the harvest will be sure. For the law of the subconscious is the law of life. What you sow, you reap. There is a golden river of abundance flowing through you now. Close your eyes and imagine it, a radiant current of golden light moving through your mind, your body, your affairs, filling every part of your life with divine supply. This river is real. It is the life of God flowing through you. The same power that created the stars and set the galaxies in motion now flows as money, as opportunity, as success in your life. Repeat within, I am aligned with the river of divine wealth. I let it flow, I let it grow, I let it show forth in perfect ways. As you decree, so it is. There is no power outside you withholding wealth. The only barriers are within your own thought, your own inner speech, your own false beliefs. The subconscious is like fertile soil. It will grow thorns or roses, weeds or wheat, according to the seed you plant. Plant fear, and fear will grow. Plant faith, and abundance must come forth. I once knew a woman who had lived in poverty for years. She constantly repeated, I can't afford it, money is tight, life is a struggle. Her subconscious, obedient and impartial, expressed her decrees faithfully. I said to her, from this moment forward, never again declare lack. Instead, affirm daily, I am rich in divine ideas. I am prosperous in all ways. Wealth flows to me easily and abundantly. She obeyed. Within weeks, she received a promotion, unexpected gifts, and a steady increase in income. Why? Because she changed her word, and her word changed her world. The universe is a mirror. What you believe, it reflects. What you decree, it echoes back. When you see yourself rich in consciousness, you will see richness in experience. When you hold poverty in thought, you will behold it in circumstances. The law never fails. You may ask, but how long will it take? When will the wealth come? I tell you, time is but a measure of belief. Some reap quickly, for they sow with faith. Others reap slowly, for they mix their seed with doubt. yet the harvest is sure. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Trust the law. Rest in the assurance that your words are seeds in God's soil, and their manifestation is certain. Let me remind you, wealth is not a sin. Wealth is not unspiritual. Wealth is the expression of God's abundance through you. Abraham was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Joseph was exalted to riches in Egypt. Solomon, filled with wisdom, declared, "The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it." Money is God in action when it is used rightly. It is energy, a symbol of divine circulation. Therefore affirm, I use money wisely, judiciously, and constructively. I am a channel of blessing. I attract riches in harmony with divine law. The subconscious will take these words and shape them into your experience. Neville Goddard taught that feeling is the secret. To merely repeat words is not enough. You must feel the reality of your decree. Feel wealth as though you already possess it. Walk in the consciousness of abundance. Speak as one who is prosperous. Act as though God's infinite riches are already yours, for indeed they are. Consider the story of a young man who desired to be a millionaire. He began to see himself as already wealthy. Each night he would fall asleep imagining himself counting great sums of money, giving generously to causes he loved, living in the home of his dreams. He repeated the affirmation, "I am a millionaire now, for God's riches flow freely to me." In 2 years, through a series of inspired ideas and wise investments, his dream became fact. His subconscious, charged with faith and feeling, had guided him to action in harmony with his belief. Beloved, wealth is not only for others, it is for you. You were created to express the fullness of God, not to live in fear of tomorrow. Remember the words of the Master, "I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." Life more abundant is your birthright. Accept it now. Do not fight appearances. If the outer world shows lack, bless it and turn inward. Declare, God is my instant and everlasting supply. Though appearances change, God is changeless abundance within me. As you persist in this truth, the outer will conform. Appearances are but shadows. Substance is within. The psychologist Carl Jung spoke of archetypes, the patterns of the collective unconscious. Poverty and wealth are such patterns. By choosing the archetype of wealth, by embodying the symbol of prosperity in your inner world, you align with a universal current that cannot fail to express itself in your outer world. Say within, I choose the archetype of wealth. I align with the pattern of divine abundance. I am one with the infinite riches of God. Repeat these words often, for repetition is the law of the subconscious. What you impress repeatedly, it accepts as truth. And now, my friend, as you hear my voice, let every fiber of your being awaken to this realization. You are rich now, not tomorrow, not next year, but now. Rich in mind, rich in faith, rich in ideas, rich in opportunities. Claim it, feel it, speak it, live it, for the kingdom is within you. This is the first step in your 30 days of transformation, to speak words of wealth, feel them as true, and impress them upon your subconscious daily. For as surely as the seed becomes the tree, so your word becomes your wealth. And so I say to you, go forth this night declaring with faith, I am one with God's infinite riches. I am prosperous beyond measure. I live in abundance now. The subconscious has received your decree. The law is in motion. The harvest is certain. Beloved friend, you have now begun to awaken to the truth that wealth is not something you chase, but something you radiate from within. The riches of life respond to consciousness. When your inner world changes, your outer world cannot recede. Saint Money is an effect, not a cause. It is the shadow cast by the light of your inner belief. Many people look at their bank accounts and grow afraid. They look at their bills and grow discouraged. They believe that numbers on a page or debts on a ledger dictate their destiny. But I say unto you, these are appearances, and appearances are transient. The truth is eternal. And the truth is that God is your source. Your subconscious is the instrument through which that source flows. The psalmist declared, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This is not a poetic phrase, but a spiritual law. To declare I shall not want is to affirm that lack has no place in your life. When you claim the Lord, the indwelling presence, as your shepherd, you affirm that all your needs are met in divine right order, in divine right timing, and in divine right ways. Now listen closely. Your subconscious responds to images as well as words. Visualization is prayer. Imagination is the workshop of God. Neville Goddard taught that what you imagine with feeling becomes your reality. Napoleon Hill said, "What the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." These are not different truths, but the same truth clothed in different garments. I invite you to practice the art of visualization now. Close your eyes and picture yourself living as though your wealth has already manifested. See yourself walking through the home of your dreams, its rooms filled with light. Feel yourself driving the car that symbolizes your success. See your bank account overflowing with abundance. Feel the joy of giving generously, of blessing others, of living without fear of tomorrow. Let the image be so real, so vivid that your subconscious accepts it as fact. And as you hold this vision, speak these words: "Thank you, Father, for the riches now manifesting in my life. Thank you for the prosperity teaches. Hat flows to me freely, joyously, and endlessly. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am prosperity." Do this night and morning. Let your last thought before sleep be of wealth. Let your first thought upon waking be of abundance, for the subconscious is most receptive in the twilight state between waking and sleep. The seeds you plant in that fertile soil will grow rapidly. I recall a man who once came to me saying, "Dr. Murphy, I have visualized wealth, but nothing changes. Why?" I asked him, what do you feel when you visualize? He admitted, "I feel doubt. I think it is only fantasy." I told him, "You must feel the reality of it. You must enter the state of the wish fulfilled. If you sow the seed of imagination but water it with fear, the harvest will be barren." So he began anew, this time combining visualization with faith. He imagined his bank account full, and he gave thanks for it as though it were already so. Within a month, a business opportunity presented itself, and he prospered greatly. His subconscious, impressed by faith-filled imagination, brought forth its harvest. Do not make the mistake of begging God for money, as though he were withholding it. God withholds nothing. All of his riches are already yours, awaiting your recognition. Prayer is not begging, but claiming. It is not pleading, but decreeing. When you pray for wealth, do not say, "Lord, please give me money." Say instead, "Thank you, Father, for the wealth that is mine now. I accept it. I rejoice in it. I use it wisely and lovingly." And let me tell you this, generosity is the law of increase. Whatever you give in love, you multiply. Whatever you withhold in fear, you diminish. If you wish to prosper, be a giver. Give of your time, your talents, your money, your prayers. As you give, so it is given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I once counseled a woman who hoarded every penny, terrified of losing what little she had. Her fear blocked the flow of wealth. I advised her to begin giving, not large sums, but small gifts of love and kindness. She began to tithe a portion of her income and to bless others with her words. In time, her income doubled and then tripled. She learned that money is a current. To hoard it is to stagnate it, but to circulate it is to multiply it. Hear me well. Circulation is the secret of wealth. Money must flow like blood through the body, like air through the lungs, like water through the river. If you hold your breath, you suffocate. If you dam the river, it grows stagnant. But if you circulate, you live. So declare, "I am a free-flowing channel of God's infinite supply. Money comes to me, and money flows from me in ever-increasing measure. All that I give returns to me multiplied." Beloved, faith without works is dead. To believe in wealth is to act in wealth. Walk with confidence, dress with dignity, speak as though you are prosperous, give as though you have abundance. These acts condition the subconscious, impressing upon it the pattern of prosperity. Even Jung understood that outer behavior influences inner archetypes. Act the part and the part becomes real. Carry yourself as one who knows he is backed by the infinite treasury of God. Soon the subconscious accepts this new self-image, and your outer world must conform. Repeat often, "I am God's millionaire. I am prospered in all my ways. I radiate success, and success returns to me multiplied." Let these words sink into the depths of your being. For the subconscious hears every word, and it cannot fail to bring forth that which you impress upon it. There is a sacred law of non-resistance that you must learn if you are to prosper. Many block their wealth by fighting circumstances, resenting others, or resisting the flow of life. They say, "Why did this happen to me?" Why does he prosper and I do not? Why are times so hard? Said ye San. His thoughts are thorns that choke the seed of abundance. The law of non-resistance says what you resist persists, but what you bless dissolves. If you resent another's prosperity, you repel your own. If you fight circumstances, you magnify them. But if you bless all good wherever you see it, you attract it to yourself. Rejoice in the wealth of others, and wealth will rejoice in you. I recall a businessman who envied his competitors. He would mutter, "They do not deserve success. They rob me of my chance." His envy poisoned his mind, and his business suffered. I instructed him to reverse his inner speech, to bless his competitors, to rejoice in their success, and to affirm, "The riches of God are infinite, and there is enough for all. What God has done for others, he now does for me." He obeyed. He blessed his rivals daily and affirmed abundance for all. Within months his business flourished, for he had aligned with the law of non-resistance. He learned that the universe is abundant, and no man's gain is another's loss. Remember these words: no one can rob you of your wealth but yourself. No man, no condition, no economy, no government has power over your supply, for God is your source, and his supply knows no limitation. Appearances may rise and fall, markets may change, currencies may fail, but the infinite substance of spirit remains constant. Anchor your faith there, and you shall never want. Another law is divine timing. The subconscious works in seasons, as nature does. You may plant a seed today, but it takes time to sprout, to grow, to bear fruit. Impatience digs up the seed, fear withers it, but faith waters it, and expectancy gives it light. Trust the process. Rest in the knowing that in God's time, not man's time, the harvest will appear. A young student once said to me, "Dr. Murphy, I have affirmed prosperity for weeks, but nothing happens." I told him, would a farmer sow seed today and expect a field of wheat tomorrow? He knows the law of growth. He waters, he waits, he trusts. So must you. Your affirmations are seeds. Your subconscious is the soil. The harvest is sure, but it must come in season. So declare daily, "I trust God's divine timing. My wealth appears at the perfect moment in perfect ways. I wait in faith, knowing that my harvest is certain." With such an attitude, you rest in peace while your good matures unseen, until suddenly it appears, often in ways beyond your imagining. You must also know that gratitude is the magnet of wealth. Give thanks for every penny you have, and it will multiply. Give thanks for the money on its way, and it will hasten its coming. Gratitude is faith in action. It tells the subconscious, "I already possess abundance," and the subconscious, obedient as ever, makes it so. Say now with me, "Thank you, Father, for the riches I have. Thank you for the riches I am receiving. Thank you for the riches that are flowing to me now." Let gratitude well up from your heart. Let it become your daily song, for the thankful soul is never poor, and the grateful heart never lacks. Beloved, you may wonder, why do I repeat these truths again and again? Because repetition is the law of mind. Just as a drop of water falling steadily will carve stone, so the steady repetition of truth carves prosperity into your subconscious. One affirmation may not move you, but 1,000 will transform you. Say for 30 days, morning and night, with faith and feeling, "I am one with God's infinite riches. Wealth is mine now. I prosper in all my ways. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I give freely and I receive freely. I rejoice in God's supply." These words, spoken with conviction, will rewrite the inner script of your life. And as the inner script changes, the outer stage must change. Do not seek wealth only to hoard it. Seek it to express God more fully, to bless humanity, to uplift the world. Money is good when used for good. It builds homes, feeds the hungry, heals the sick, educates the ignorant, and spreads truth. Let your wealth be a channel of divine love, and you will never lack, for God will entrust more to those who use it wisely. And so I say to you, wealth is your divine right. Prosperity is your destiny. You are not meant to scrape by in fear, but to live in the overflow of God's goodness. Accept this truth now, speak it, feel it, live it, for your word shall not return unto you void, but it shall accomplish that which you please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto you send it. As part 2 closes, let this reminder echo in your soul. The wealth of God is within you now. Your subconscious is your treasure house. Speak to it in faith, and it will obey. Believe in divine timing, and the harvest is certain. Live in gratitude, and abundance will multiply. Practice non-resistance, and nothing can withhold your good. You are God's millionaire in embryo, and your wealth is unfolding even now. My beloved friend, let us go still deeper into the truth of wealth manifestation. The riches of the subconscious are infinite. The law of life is the law of belief. Whatever you believe with feeling, whatever you impress upon the inner mind, must come forth as form, as condition, as experience. Think of the seed in the soil. The farmer does not see the roots forming beneath the ground, yet he trusts the process. He knows that nature is faithful. So too is your subconscious faithful. When you sow thoughts of wealth, even if you see no immediate result, know that the roots are forming, the unseen work is being done. Soon the harvest will appear. The ancient scripture declares, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your heart, in biblical language, is your subconscious. What you think in the depths of feeling, you become. You cannot think poverty in your heart and live in wealth, nor can you think abundance in your heart and live in lack. The inner always creates the outer. One of my students was a struggling writer. He said, "Dr. Murphy, I want to prosper through my writing, but I see only rejection slips. My mind is filled with discouragement." I told him, "Stop magnifying rejection. Begin to see yourself as a successful author now. Imagine publishers eager for your work. Feel the joy of seeing your books in the hands of many. Affirm daily, infinite intelligence opens the perfect channels for my writing. I prosper as an author, and my words bless the world." He obeyed. He changed his inner image. Within months, a major publisher accepted his manuscript. He became prosperous not by chance, but by changing the belief in his subconscious. So I ask you now, what image are you holding of yourself? Do you see yourself as poor, struggling, always behind? Then you are engraving that image upon your subconscious, and life will echo it back. Change the image. See yourself rich, happy, successful, generous, and free. Speak to your subconscious as though it were already true, and it will bring it to pass. Say within yourself, "I am wealthy now. Riches of every kind flow to me. I am a magnet for divine prosperity. Money loves me, and I love to use it for good." Speak these words until they saturate your mind, until they become your automatic inner speech. Then you will discover that your subconscious begins to guide you toward wealth in ways you never imagined. Remember also that the subconscious responds to dominant ideas. If you affirm wealth in the morning but worry about bills all day, the worry cancels the affirmation. You must persist until wealth becomes your dominant thought. The subconscious accepts what you dwell upon most consistently. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." If you see yourself always scraping by, that is what you will receive. If you see yourself enjoying plenty, that is what you will experience. Neville Goddard added, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and your assumption will harden into fact." These truths align perfectly with the law of the subconscious. Another key is forgiveness. Many block their wealth by holding resentment. Resentment is a poison. It clogs the channels of supply. If you wish to prosper, forgive everyone, including yourself. Say, "I freely forgive all. I radiate love, peace, and goodwill to all mankind. I am cleansed of bitterness, and divine wealth flows to me freely." The moment you forgive, you release the dam, and the river of prosperity flows unhindered. I recall a man who came to me saying, "Dr. Murphy, I have affirmed wealth for years, but nothing happens." I discerned that he carried deep resentment against his former partner. I said, "Your subconscious cannot bring you riches while you carry poison in your heart. Forgive, release, bless him, and you will prosper." At first he resisted, but at last he began to pray. I forgive him and release him to God. I bless him with success and happiness. Within weeks, money began to flow into his life, opportunities opened, and he prospered greatly. The law is impartial. It will bring forth wealth or poverty depending on the seed sown. It does not judge, it executes. You are the sower. Choose well. Do not say, "I will be rich someday," for the subconscious works only with the present tense. Say instead, "I am rich now, feel it as now, live it as now, believe it as now." Then the outer will align with the inner. Beloved, wealth is a state of consciousness. Poverty is a state of consciousness. When you shift your inner state, the outer must follow. Therefore, do not seek money directly. Seek the consciousness of abundance. When the inner cup is full, the outer overflow cannot be stopped. Beloved, let us go further. The law of life is the law of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true, your subconscious accepts and brings into being. If you assume lack, lack will be yours. If you assume abundance, abundance will be yours. Therefore, assume wealth now. Walk in it inwardly. Speak from it, think from it, act from it until your subconscious is saturated with the reality of riches. A merchant once said to me, "Dr. Murphy, I cannot compete in this market. Times are hard." I told him, "Stop affirming hardness. Begin affirming ease. Declare, the infinite intelligence of my subconscious attracts customers, multiplies my sales, and prospers me in all ways." He began this practice faithfully. He imagined his store filled with eager buyers. He gave thanks for every sale, no matter how small. Within 6 months, his business doubled, for he had changed his assumption. Do not allow fear to dominate your thoughts. Fear is faith in the negative. It is belief in failure instead of success. The subconscious accepts fear as a command just as it accepts faith. But when you choose faith, fear dissolves. Affirm, God's love fills my mind, and I walk in perfect faith. Nothing can disturb my prosperity, for the Lord is my source. Learn to speak wealth over every area of your life. When you pay a bill, bless it and say, "I always have plenty to spare and to share." When you see money, say, "Money is God in action, circulating for the good of all." When you think of your future, declare, "My future is secure, for I live in the abundance of the eternal now." Let me remind you of this truth. Wealth is already within you. The gold mines, the oil wells, the treasures of the earth are symbols of the infinite riches of your own mind. You do not create wealth, you reveal it. You do not force abundance, you allow it. All that you need is already within, awaiting expression through belief. Therefore, cease striving and begin trusting. Cease worrying and begin affirming. Cease doubting and begin knowing, for faith is the victory that overcomes the world. As you go forth in this practice, say often, "I am divinely guided to wealth, health, love, and success. Ideas of prosperity flow to me easily. I accept riches in mind, and they appear in my world." And now let me speak directly to your soul. You are not poor, you are not limited, you are not helpless. You are a child of the infinite, heir to all the riches of heaven and earth, the power that formed the stars, that set the planets in motion, that clothed the fields with flowers, that filled the oceans with fish, is the same power that beats your heart and breathes through your lungs. That power is your source of wealth. It cannot fail. Rest in this realization. It is the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. The kingdom is yours now. Accept it, rejoice in it, live in it, for as you decree, so shall it be. And so, beloved, as we close this portion of our journey together, I remind you, speak words of wealth daily, with faith, with joy, with expectancy. Let gratitude be your song, forgiveness your cleansing, generosity your flow, and faith your foundation. Your subconscious has heard, and it must obey. If these truths have stirred something deep within you, if you feel the river of abundance awakening in your soul, I invite you now to join in spreading this light. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with others who are ready to awaken to their divine inheritance, for together we create a world where lack is dissolved and the riches of God flow freely to all. Remember always, the infinite power is within you, and it is greater than any lack, any fear, any limitation. You are God's millionaire now, and your wealth is unfolding even as you hear these words. Beloved, by now you know that wealth is not something outside you, but a state of consciousness within you. The riches of God are infinite and already yours. Yet many live as beggars because they do not realize the treasure house they carry in their subconscious. You hold within yourself a hidden vault, a storehouse of limitless supply. The key that opens it is your word, your imagination, your faith. Let us explore more deeply the law of substitution. Every time you are tempted to think, "I cannot afford this," or "I am poor," substitute immediately with an opposite truth. "I can afford all things through the riches of my subconscious. God is my supply. I am prosperous now." In this way, you uproot weeds and plant flowers. The subconscious does not resist substitution. It receives whatever seed is sown most often. A young woman once told me she felt cursed with poverty. She said her parents struggled, her grandparents struggled, and she feared she would too. I told her, your lineage is not your destiny. You are not bound by heredity, history, or statistics. You are bound only by your belief. Change your belief, and you change your future. She began to affirm, I am free from all false beliefs of lack. I inherit the riches of God. Prosperity is my divine birthright. Within a year, her income multiplied, and she broke the chain of family limitation. Beloved, no curse can stand against the blessing of God. No false belief can withstand the light of truth. Declare often, there is no poverty in God. There is no limitation in God. I am one with God. Therefore, I am unlimited supply. Your subconscious will register it as law, and your world will echo it back. Understand also the power of imagination joined with emotion. The subconscious is moved not by empty words, but by words charged with feeling. When you speak of wealth, feel the joy of having it. When you imagine abundance, let your heart rejoice as though it were already so. Emotion gives life to thought. Feeling is the language that the subconscious understands. Neville Goddard often taught that assumption with feeling creates fact. He would say, enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you do so, you bypass doubt, and the subconscious accepts the image as reality. A man who wishes to be rich but feels poor will remain poor. A man who feels rich even before the evidence appears will soon find riches manifesting. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you feel prosperous. Feel prosperous now, and circumstances must follow. This is divine law. The outer follows the inner as surely as the shadow follows the body. Napoleon Hill said, you must begin to see yourself as becoming wealthy long before riches appear in your life. He understood that success begins in the invisible realm of thought. Carl Jung added that the unconscious projects itself outward as fate. Change the unconscious patterns, and you change your destiny. Therefore, sit quietly each day and imagine yourself living in abundance. See the evidence of wealth all around you. Hear yourself being congratulated for your success. Feel yourself giving freely, blessing others, living joyously. Then affirm, this is the truth of me now. I am rich in substance and rich in manifestation. The law of abundance is working in me and through me. Remember, wealth consciousness is not built in a day. It is cultivated through repetition, visualization, and faith. The old beliefs of lack may try to return, but do not be disturbed. Simply replace them with truth again and again until the new pattern is established. A man once said to me, Dr. Murphy, my affirmations feel mechanical. I told him, persist anyway. Even a dry seed contains life. As you continue, feeling will come. Do not judge the process in its early stages. The subconscious is being impressed whether you feel it or not. Continue, and soon the new belief will blossom with power. Faith is persistence. Faith is repetition. Faith is refusing to be swayed by appearances. Speak wealth until wealth becomes your inner habit. Then wealth will become your outer reality. Now consider this. True wealth is more than money. It is health, harmony, love, creativity, peace of mind, and joy of living. Money is but one form of God's abundance. When you affirm prosperity, why? You are affirming the fullness of life. Do not limit prosperity to dollars alone. Prosperity is a flowing, radiant state of being. Say often, I am prosperous in all ways. I am rich in ideas, rich in love, rich in friendship, rich in health, rich in wisdom. All forms of wealth flow to me now. As you affirm this, your subconscious brings forth opportunities, relationships, ideas, and circumstances that reflect abundance in every form. Beloved, you may have been taught that it is selfish to desire wealth, but I say unto you, poverty helps no one. When you are prosperous, you can bless others. When your cup overflows, you can pour into the cups of those in need. Prosperity allows you to expand God's good upon the earth. It is not selfish to be wealthy. It is selfish to remain small when God created you for greatness. So claim your greatness now. Affirm, I am a center of divine abundance. I receive generously, I give generously, and I live generously. The riches of God flow through me without end. Beloved, let us now turn to one of the greatest secrets of manifestation, silence. In quietness and confidence shall be your strength. The subconscious is most powerfully impressed in stillness when the outer chatter of the mind is hushed. Sit in silence each day, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and sink into the awareness that you are one with the infinite. In this holy stillness, affirm softly, God's riches are mine now. I rest in divine abundance. I am one with the source of supply. Do this daily, and you will find your outer life becoming a mirror of the peace and prosperity you hold within. I once counseled a businessman whose mind was always racing. He rushed, worried, schemed, and strove, yet wealth eluded him. I said, "You are too busy outwardly. You must learn the power of inward stillness." Reluctantly, he began a practice of daily meditation, sitting quietly, in affirming abundance. Within months, his business flourished, for his subconscious, no longer filled with turmoil, could finally receive the seed of prosperity. Another truth is this: obedience to inner guidance is the golden key. Your subconscious, when impressed with wealth, will nudge you with ideas, hunches, and intuitions. Act upon them. The law does not drop money from the sky. It guides you to opportunities. Listen inwardly, and you will be led. A man once affirmed prosperity daily. One night he dreamed of a new invention. He awoke inspired, acted upon the idea, and created a successful business. His subconscious, filled with wealth consciousness, had revealed to him the channel through which riches would flow. So say often, "Infinite intelligence guides me in all my ways. I am led to rich opportunities. My subconscious directs me to success, and I act in perfect faith." Then trust the gentle nudges, for within you is a wisdom greater than your intellect, and it always knows the way. Beloved, let us speak of the law of multiplication. Whatever you give thanks for multiplies. Whatever you bless increases. If you bless your money, it grows. If you curse it, it diminishes. Say over your money, "You are God's substance in visible form. You are a symbol of divine abundance. I bless you and release you to bless others, and you return to me multiplied." One woman began this practice. She would bless every coin, every bill, every dollar, speaking words of gratitude over them. Soon, unexpected checks arrived, gifts poured in, and her income increased. Why? Because blessing activates the law of multiplication. Do not despise the day of small things. Rejoice in what you have now, and it will grow. Gratitude is the alchemy that transforms little into much. Say daily, "Thank you, Father, for the money I have. Thank you for the money flowing to me. I bless my finances, and they multiply exceedingly." And let me speak a word about fear of loss. Many live in dread that they will lose what they have. This fear creates the very condition they fear. But when you declare, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," you establish a sense of security. Know that what comes from God is eternal, and what is truly yours cannot be taken. Rest in the divine assurance that your supply is permanent, for it flows from the infinite. As this section closes, I remind you, prosperity is your divine inheritance. Speak it, feel it, visualize it, bless it, and act upon it. Your subconscious is your unfailing partner. Train it with truth, and it will make you wealthy in every way. Now let these words echo in your soul. I am God's millionaire now. I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious. I live in abundance. I give generously, and I receive generously. I am forever supplied by the river of divine wealth. The law is set in motion. The seed is planted. The harvest is certain. Beloved friend, you have walked with me through the laws of the subconscious, through the mysteries of faith, imagination, non-resistance, and divine timing. Now we come to the great consummation, the realization that you are already one with infinite supply. The riches you seek are not ahead of you. They are within you, awaiting your recognition. All through the ages, men and women have sought the secret of abundance. Kings have searched, alchemists have labored, philosophers have pondered. Yet the truth has always been simple. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The heart is the subconscious. What you impress there becomes your fate. Change the impression, and you change the destiny. You may say, "Dr. Murphy, I have affirmed, I have visualized, I have prayed, yet my wealth is not here." I answer you with this: never dig up your seed. Trust the unseen process. Know that the harvest is already forming in silence. The oak tree sleeps within the acorn. The harvest of riches sleeps within your affirmation. Do not uproot it with doubt. Rest in faith, and in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Let me tell you of a man who lived in constant lack. He tried business after business, but always failed. When he came to me, I asked, "What is your constant inner thought?" He confessed, "I believe I am unlucky, doomed to fail." I said to him, "Your subconscious is your faithful servant. It has carried out your command of failure. Reverse it. Declare, I am divinely lucky. Everything I do prospers. Infinite intelligence prospers my undertakings." He began to repeat this daily with deep feeling. Within months, he succeeded in a venture that brought him more money than ever before. His luck changed because his belief changed. Truly, luck is but faith in action. Beloved, wealth is never outside. It is never withheld. It is always a reflection of your inner state. If you live in constant fear, the channels dry up. If you live in joyous expectancy, the channels overflow. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Faith knows it is already received and acts accordingly." Neville Goddard said, "Live in the end." Napoleon Hill declared, "Success comes to those who become success conscious." And I add, the subconscious mind will faithfully express what you impress upon it. These are one truth spoken in many tongues. Therefore, act as though you are rich now. Think as though you are rich now. Speak as though you are rich now. And your subconscious, receiving these impressions, will make them your experience. Say with me, I am prosperous beyond measure. Money flows to me constantly, freely, endlessly. I am divinely guided in all my ways. Every idea I need comes to me at the right time. I am wealthy now. Let these words be the background music of your mind. Let them be the inner speech you hear day and night. Soon they will crystallize as conditions of wealth in your outer life. And remember this, gratitude is the great multiplier. Do not wait until riches come to give, then Caesars, give thanks now and they will come swiftly. Say, "Thank you, Father, for the abundance I have. Thank you for the abundance on its way. Thank you for the riches that flow to me now." The thankful heart is the magnet of miracles. Beloved, do not fear the world's news of scarcity. Economies rise and fall, markets change, currencies collapse. But God's supply is eternal. You are not dependent on governments or men. You are dependent on the infinite source within you. Align with it, and no outer condition can disturb your prosperity. Say often, "God is my instant and eternal supply. The channels may change, but God never fails me. I live in security, for I live in the abundance of the eternal now." Do you realize, my friend, that by speaking words of wealth for 30 days with faith, you are reprogramming the subconscious mind? You are overwriting years of poverty thinking with the script of prosperity. And once the subconscious accepts the new pattern, nothing can stop the outward manifestation. It is written, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Renewal is repetition. Renewal is persistence. Renewal is refusing to return to the old pattern of lack. Each time the old voice of fear whispers, answer it with the voice of faith. Say, "I am rich in God's abundance. Fear has no power over me. I live in infinite supply." Thus, day by day, word by word, decree by decree, you engrave the law of wealth upon the subconscious, and the subconscious, obedient to divine law, must bring forth its harvest. Beloved friend, let me impress this final truth upon your mind with all the weight of divine law. You are already what you seek. You are already rich, for riches are within you. You are already abundant, for abundance is the nature of God, and you are His expression. The moment you accept this, the outer world must reflect it. You do not wait for evidence to belie. You believe, and the evidence appears. You do not beg for supply. You claim it, and it manifests. You do not chase money. You magnetize it by your consciousness. For money is but the shadow, and consciousness is the substance. Align with the substance, and the shadow must follow. So I say to you now, speak the words of wealth for 30 days, morning and night. Say them with faith, with expectancy, with joy. Let them sink into your subconscious until they become your inner truth. Say, "I am one with God's infinite riches. Wealth is mine now. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I give freely and I receive freely. I am prosperous in all my ways." Do this faithfully, and you will prove the law for yourself. You will see doors open, opportunities arise, supply flow, and riches appear in perfect ways. The subconscious, impressed with truth, cannot fail to express it. Remember, forgive all, bless all, love all, and give thanks always. These are the 4 gates of wealth. Forgiveness clears the channels. Blessing multiplies your good. Love opens the flow. Gratitude seals it. Walk through these gates daily, and prosperity will be your companion. Let us affirm together now in the silence of your soul, I am God's millionaire now. I am wealthy beyond measure. Infinite intelligence guides me. Divine love prospers me, and God's abundance flows through me to bless the world. Riches of every kind are mine, here and now. I live in joy, I live in love, I live in infinite supply. Thank you, Father, for the kingdom that is mine now. Rest in these words, feel their truth, know they are already accomplished, for the word you have spoken shall not return void, but it shall prosper in the thing whereto you sent it. And now, as we close this sacred journey together, I leave you with this eternal reminder, you are the heir of all the riches of heaven and earth. You are God's beloved, and it is His good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Walk in this truth, and your life shall be a living testimony of abundance, blessing, and divine success. If these words have awakened the wealth consciousness within you, I invite you now to take action. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with others who are ready to claim their divine inheritance. Let us build together a community of men and women who live in abundance, who walk in faith, and who manifest the riches of God upon the earth. Remember always, the infinite power is within you. Speak the word, believe it, and you will live it. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, and so it is.